Hey friends, welcome back to Fridays with Faye. This week we went to Duke and I walked in carrying more than questions about my body. I carried memories. Memories of my dad's journey. Memories of what this disease took from him. Memories of watching it affect his nerves, his strength, and the life he once knew. There's a unique kind of weariness that comes when what you're walking through now feels connected to what you've already watched someone you love endure. And then there's the moment of sitting in the appointment, hearing that the medication I'm on is meant to slow the disease down, but that the disease is still progressing. Those words land heavy. Because there's a difference between knowing something in your head and hearing it spoken again in a room that already holds so much weight. In that moment, I could feel the fear trying to rise. The comparisons, the memories of my dad, the temptation to let my mind run ahead into places that only God belongs. But in the middle of all that, God shifted my eyes from what I feared to who's been faithful. As I thought about my dad, I realized again how much work he did while he was alive. He did the hard work of asking questions. He lived through the uncertainty. He helped uncover what this disease looked like in our family. He carried the burden of the unknown so much earlier than I ever had to. And this week, God reminded me that my dad's journey was never wasted. 16 years ago, God was already moving in my story through my dad's. All the work my dad did back then, the appointments, the answers, the hard road he walked, set me up for my diagnosis 6 years ago. Because of what was learned through his suffering, I was diagnosed earlier than I otherwise may have been. That was not coincidence or luck. That was the hand of God. Before I ever heard of my own diagnosis, God was already preparing the path. Before I ever knew the fear, He was already making provision. Before I ever walked into my own appointments, He was already writing mercy into the story through my dad's faithfulness. What the enemy meant to use as fear this week, God used to remind me of His sovereignty. He was there in my dad's story. He was there 16 years ago. He was there 6 years ago at my diagnosis, and He's here now. Sometimes we only see pain when we look back. But when we let God open our eyes, we begin to see something greater. His fingerprints in every chapter. The hard chapters, the confusing chapters, the chapters that made no sense while we were living them. God was not absent in any of it. Let's open up our Bibles to Romans 8:28. We know that all things work together for the good of those who love God, who are called according to His purpose. Friends, this week, that verse feels deeply personal. Even this disease, even the memories, even the fear stirred by sitting at Duke and hearing progression is still happening. Even the reality that medicine can slow it but not stop it. God is still working, not only in my body, but in my heart. He's teaching me that my story is not ultimately about disease progression, but it's about divine presence. A God who goes before us. A God who prepares the road through places we do not yet understand. A God who uses one generation's pain to become another generation's provision. This week I left Duke reminded that the same God who carried my dad was already paving the road for me long before I ever knew I needed the road. And that changes weariness into worship. My challenge for you this week is simple. Look back over your life and ask God to reveal where He was already working before you could see it. Where did a hard season later become preparation? Where did someone else's pain become part of your provision? Where can you now see His faithfulness in places that once only felt confusing? Friends, ask God to open your eyes to His fingerprints. Because sometimes the greatest comfort is realizing that the God you need today is the same God who was already preparing your path years ago. Friends, He is in your story. He always has been. Thank you for joining me this Friday. Be blessed, and I will see you again next week.